Looking on the good one. Figured I'd seen this discussion pop up, and I've seen this just happen in the last few hours of being awake. We're 12 hours behind the Philippines, so obviously, our mornings and nights are different. Like right now, it is 7 o'clock or what time? 7:11 in the morning. I know it's 7:11 in the evening. You know, already later that day. I just want to talk about like some of the things that I've seen so far, and some of the things that showed me off is you went to a place that was known as a very bad location, not even just for Americans, for Filipinos themselves. It's a very dangerous and scary area. And any of my encounters I had no problem. Um, Never felt uneasy at any moment, not even when I was in Cebu. In the Cebu city, it seemed a little sketchy in the city limits. There's a lot of police activity, a lot of stuff, but we didn't go out at night. In the province of Cebu, up north by the Kendaya Resort, felt nothing. We left the resort at night, walked down the street. I didn't bring my GoPro or nothing. Didn't want to bring no attention to myself. There's things that you need to learn about when you're in areas. That's just the same as there's places in the U.S. If a Filipino or Chinese or wherever country you might be from, and you asking me where to come to see in America, I'm not going to tell you to go down south side of Chicago. I'm not going to tell you to go to the inner city of Philadelphia. I'm not going to tell you to go to the north side of Pittsburgh. There's areas you just don't go, and that's universal in the whole world. Just like in Afghanistan, people might think it's a dangerous, horrible place, but at the same time, there's beautiful places inside of Afghanistan that are well kept and are safe, just like there are bad areas of it. So you really got to know your surroundings, and that young kid, being only 26 years old, really didn't. I don't think he knew the kind of danger and the situation of the area he was moving into. Um, oh yeah, cheers, man. Prayers to the family. Prayers for him. For his wife. For his wife too. You're from that area. You know that area. You should have went. They should have went to the cities. Not not in that province area. That's one of the areas that's been marked as a red zone for what, the last 8 years or so now, 10 years. Um, Honestly, you should have had her meet you in Davao City or somewhere in them areas that's more modernized and more, stuff, police and everything around. The dude went like straight up in the jungle of, nowhere basically. And yeah, it's just a very unfortunate thing. But the young man seemed like he really didn't know what he was getting into, and that's anyone. You got to know your cautions in life, and that's probably someone. Doubting. I've never heard anything about Vermont in United States. That's probably an area where not a lot of activities go on. Me, I'm from the streets of Pittsburgh. I've seen dead bodies. There's killings every night. There's cops being killed. Like, there's shit going on all the time. Like, I know, like, I have those senses built in because of my environment. I know when things don't feel right, and I know I might be in somewhere like when me and my girl went to Cebu when I visited the Philippines. She's from Manila. Okay, she's from the Locos area, Makati, like the cities, and up north in the province. She knows all the areas there. When we both went to Cebu, we were both foreigners. They speak Messiah mostly there. She speaks Tagalog. So a lot of interpretation had to become in English, and so at that point, you got to know, okay, we're both foreigners. We got to look out for each other in that situation. Like, we got to. And there was even when we was at the resort, my girl questioned. I wanted to go out at night when we were up at the Kendaya Resort. I said, yeah, let's walk to the city. Like, let's walk to the little province down there. And she's telling me, provinces and areas can be dangerous, robberies, stuff like that. And I'm like, it ain't nothing, because for me, I'm from an area where all that stuff goes down. Like, I'm gonna be able to see that before it's even coming. Like, in my senses, like that's just not. I won't say I've never been in the military or nothing like that, but when you're in bad areas and you grow up through bad areas, you just know when something's coming. You have that sense before it even happens, like, and you can get yourself. I don't even know where I'm going at with that, but we went out and I'm walking. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to bring the GoPro. We're just going to walk down to the province. And we start walking and notice both sides of the streets had sidewalks, lights, street lights. And I'm like, damn, this is like a normal street in America. And she's still a little uneasy. And we start walking and, all these houses. I'm like, this is a nice house here. This is a nice house here. This is some of the houses up north in the provinces of Cebu, man, they were nicer than houses in America, man. They looked like they would be in like those cul-de-sac, like $1 million houses and shit. Them like them people up north in Cebu in the I butchered that Kenbendaya area, I think it is. They got money up there. I could tell that much. And we start walking. It's like, man, they got sidewalks up here. I'm like, babe, I don't think it's like what you were saying. She's like, yeah, it don't seem like that. And we're getting down more to the city, and they got like shops, and then they had like this like gadget store open. I'm like, I don't think they'd be selling electronics at like 8 o'clock at night. It's dark out. Like if this was a bad area. And we keep walking, and there's street foods as you get closer to the city. There's people and stuff, but she had the right to have me be more cautious than I should have been because we're both a foreigner at that point. She's not from Cebu. I'm not, I'm not from the Philippines at all. So we're both foreigners in that situation. We don't know how things are because certain, areas, just like certain hoods in America, you don't need to be wandering out at night. My city in Pittsburgh I'm at, I ain't going out after night. No, 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 no. As soon as it gets dark around this area, man, I ain't fucking around. Man, there's too many people getting killed every single day in my area for me to go out and fuck around. Around here, we call it, you go out at night, you play around with your life. But I do say that I did have that arrogance of, like, man, nothing's gonna happen, blah, 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 like, nothing did happen, and then we found out once we got into, like, the inner city and stuff like that, and seeing stuff going on, like, they had fireworks and, like, all kinds of stuff going on. I'm like, man, I was like, this is like small town America, this little place, like, I was like, these are the places, and then I was like, babe, you really think that this would be a bad area? They got a resort up here charging like $200 some a night. This place would be abandoned if this was a bad, sketchy area. This resort wouldn't even be here. Like, and even like interactions with all the people, all the locals, it was all good. When I first got there, I got the video rendering right now on my. And that's another thing too. If you're going somewhere, don't post when you're still in that location and like letting off. Of course, I grant it. I guess if you live there, I mean, I got the Kenbendaya Resort going up right now. Oh, that place is amazing. I loved it. Still got about halfway to go. Love Cebu. Did not like the city of Cebu, and it wasn't against the people. It was just the city just wasn't. I don't know how you even say that. The provinces felt more modernized than the damn city of Cebu. Like it just didn't make no sense. Like when we were in Cebu, we had zero internet coverage, but as soon as we got into the province, boom, it was like 5G perfect internet, and it's like, how the hell this is like ass backwards? How do you have no internet in the main city with all these buildings and businesses, But we get out into the province in the middle of goddamn nowhere, and cell signal is great. I can stream, I can do whatever I want, but in the city, nothing worked. It's like, I don't get this. Like, but I can honestly say I had nothing. I did not fear one time. I was there for a whole month. I did not have not one fear of like, oh my god, like, oh snap, this is sketchy. Nothing like that. Um, but again, we didn't go to none of those bad areas, and that's what I'm saying. Like, for him to put himself in that situation, for one, I do have to blame the wife a little bit. Like, you know that area of Mindanao, you grew up there. You should have said, hey, send me some money, take a bus to the city of like Davao or one of those like main cities of Mindanao where it's more, governed and policed and stuff. Not to be going way out in the middle of nowhere, what's been marked as a red zone and has military presence and everything there all the time. Like, you're you're asking for something to happen to you. Like, and I hate to say that, and I do feel bad, obviously, like, for anybody that has that kind of situation. Like, for this to happen right now is kind of wild. Like, and it's like kind of hitting the whole YouTube with a storm right now. Like, and I know now there's going to be a lot of videos like, oh, the Philippines isn't safe, isn't this, and it's like, no, because there's places in America I would tell you never to come. If you were visiting America, I would stay the fuck away from them areas. Don't go to fucking San Francisco. Don't go to Los Angeles. Don't go to south side of Chicago. Places like that, north side of Pittsburgh and shit like that. Like, don't, no. Like, so you just gotta know your surroundings in every situation. Like, if you're going to go somewhere, you have to do your due diligence on. That's why I won't go to Mexico. I will never go to Mexico. In my entire life, I will never go to Mexico. Stuff happens in Mexico all the time, and for one, that's a whole nother subject on the Mexico thing, but okay, Mexicans have been selling drugs to Americans for how many decades, killing people with cocaine, fentanyl, laced weed, pills, all kinds of narcotics, the drug trafficking, sex trafficking that they're doing. Why would I go to Mexico? Why the fuck would I ever, as an American, go to Mexico? I will never go to Mexico unless it be go to war. Then I would go. But in the Philippines, everyone is nice, man. Like, that's just the areas you just don't go to. There's 7,000 some islands, and you pick to go to that island. Like, oh man, my man just didn't do his due diligence. I can't even say the damn word. And his woman obviously didn't know what kind of situation that would cause. He's on vlog, paying people, talking about how he's paying for Wi-Fi. He gave these people like $2,000 and all this stuff. And it's like, you're broadcasting like you got money. They don't know that you don't got money. You're only a 26-year-old man. You can't have much saved up for retirement or anything at that point, really. And it seemed like homie was banking on YouTube for making his money. So I don't know what that whole situation is. Maybe they think maybe his parents had money, and now they're going to try to get a ransom from that, maybe. That might be the only thing I could think of, that they thought he had money, or you're thinking, okay, he's a 26-year-old kid that his parents are paying for, basically, or something. So hopefully that situation can get resolved. I wouldn't be surprised if there's already, because I know the Philippines and the United States have been doing exercises and training. I wouldn't be surprised if there was already a special jungle force, whatever, special forces already talking about it and getting works in, trying to find and locate them or something. probably a calculated effort with between United States and Filipino forces, maybe coming. We'll have to see about what that if that brings anything, but to not know your surroundings when you visit somewhere. Before I visited the Philippines, I watched and I've done so much, probably about 3 years at least, of watching, reading articles, looking at places. Oh, go there, don't go here. And locals will even tell you. Most locals there will tell you if you ask them, yeah, you shouldn't go there, or you can go here, but don't go to this location. And that's too, I didn't bring no jewelry when I went. I didn't bring anything. I had my this exact pants I had too. I had these zip pants. These they're almost like swim trunks. I had my passport here, zipped up, always zipped. Had my phone here, zip. Had my GoPro on my wrist if I was recording, or if I didn't, I had it down, dangling from my wrist, and I had a little bag. That bag had absolutely nothing in it. If somebody would have said something or tell me, give me that or something, all my bag had was, I had a charging pack and a couple spare batteries for my GoPro. I'd have just unclipped that bag, threw it, and that would have gave me a couple seconds to figure out, all right, let's get the hell out of here real quick, move, or whatever we're going to do. But you got to be smart. You need to be smart in any situation, anywhere in the world at this point right now. It's not even just this subject. It is everywhere. My own city, I won't go around flashing money or something. Last time I went down Pittsburgh a couple years ago, I don't know how long it's been now, for a YouTube video I shot at one of the hotels. There's literally a guy at the hotel stomped out on his wedding night in a Pittsburgh hotel. Stomped to death, almost to a coma, by a homeless man inside of a hotel downtown Pittsburgh. There's no security in Pittsburgh. There's no police in Pittsburgh. So you really gotta watch all your surroundings all the time. And if you're out at night, you gotta know, if you're out at night, you're playing with your life. And if you're doing these videos, you gotta know there's people from all over the world watching you. You gotta be smart. You gotta watch what you say, how you say it. He might have just pissed somebody off in a video. He might have said something, or someone noticed him making videos and he was at the local market or something and said something to the wrong person. It could have been something like that, or some kind of argument, and it's just okay, you could get in an argument, but a lot of places, even in the U.S., it's certain people know people. It's not the greatest to get into an argument. You can have legal problems hitting you. You can have gang members coming after you. You never know what exactly someone knows or who they know. You gotta watch all your surroundings every time. When I was in the Philippines, I had zero problems with anyone. All the locals were amazing. I never got scammed. When I was in the Philippines, not one time. And I know that happens to a lot of people. And it is a lot how people carry themselves, And I don't even know. I've never watched that kid's videos or anything, but I could just kind of tell, sometimes you're young and cocky, and that's what it kind of seemed like. He was a little young and cocky, and it probably bit him because he probably pissed off the wrong person in the city or something, and people know people and things happen. But hopefully they can find him. Hopefully things are resolved, and because I know in the Philippines that happens to a lot of local people in the Philippines. A lot of abductions and things like that usually happen to locals, not as much as foreigners. I know it does happen, but not as often as it does for local people in local areas, children and stuff like that. I know a lot of that stuff happens. Um, Something that isn't really talked about as much, but something that does happen. And it's unfortunate. Hopefully, the situation can get resolved. My only thing is, if the reports are real and he's shot in the leg, I mean, without medical treatment for a leg, it depends where in the leg he was shot. You know, he might he might already be dead. Like he might already be dead. Like we don't know. Like, was it up in his thigh? Was it down to his calf? Was it his kneecap? And there's always a threat. People think, oh, you just got shot in the leg, it's okay. But those main arteries go through your legs, and connect up and go to your arms. It's like, like basically like a Jesus cross, like a skeleton. So there's that. I doubt they had a tourniquet to put on his leg to stop the bleeding, so it's like, I guess we'll know in a couple days or something, maybe. Who knows? And now, is this something that's going to start another conflict? You know? But I never had any kind of fear or any kind of unsafe the whole time I was in the Philippines. I felt completely safe, and I didn't go to a lot of places though. The only sketchy place I felt like it was a little bit in Cebu City, and you could just tell there was a lot of corruption and stuff there going on with the government and that. And hell, when I was there in the Philippines in Cebu, the damn mayor was busted on 3 felonies for corruption or something. So, there are parts I would tell, and that's why I started in Manila my first trip. I would say if you are going to the Philippines, you should start in the Manila region, and then after you get comfortable, you can work your way out. But I would say definitely land in Manila. It's going to be more suitable for most Westerners, and it's safe. I mean, there's cops on every corner. A lot of the places there's traffic signs. And even a lot of the places in Manila, the sketchy areas, it's really not like sketchy. It's just, poverty conditions for people. The people are usually awesome as hell. But yeah, you got to think that through. To be an American and go into a Muslim zone, you got to know that's a dumbass idea. Like, even if it's not the Muslims we were fighting in the Middle East, they're the ones that got that same kind of mentality, And it's to the point where when are we going to stop saying, oh, Muslims are good people? Because it seems like they're really not. And I know there's things that happened in that area of the Mindanao region to local Filipinos that they don't bother nobody. They just live in their day-to-day lives just because they're Catholic. They were killed and, stuff like that to them from the Muslims. So it's like, I think the world's got to wake up to thinking that, can't start saying they're all good, because they're not. And it kind of scares me with a lot of the stuff that's going on in Israel right now, and there's so many people in America like screaming free like Palestine and all this like Muslim movement, and it's like when y'all gonna give us the green light to start like taking these people out, like, because it has to happen, like, or it's gonna get very dangerous. Something like that's gonna start happening here a lot more. And we do have that with the Venezuela gangs that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden has led into our country now. You got a lot of gang members coming from Venezuela and a lot of bad regions of the world right now. And it's making things a lot uneasy, especially in like New York and places like that. There's a lot of like foreign gangs going on now. So, you always got to watch your surroundings, man. And I know a lot of people, like even my chick, she'll make fun of me sometimes because I'll even be in the car on a lunch break at work and I'm like, I'm always scanning my surroundings. Like, that's just how I grew up in my area. So I'm always watching. So you're not going to catch me off guard because I'm watching you before you watch me. Like, I'll even be sitting in the car eating and I'm looking at this way. I'm looking over here, looking behind me, like doing 360 rotations, looking at my mirrors, looking, and some people will be like, "Oh, that's crazy, man." It's like, but you gotta know your surroundings and you gotta scan for threats wherever you are. Like, for me, I would never move to Mindanao. I don't even think. I'm sorry. I don't even know if there's any people that I know from that area of the Philippines. Sorry, Davao does look beautiful, and places there are some places that look really nice. But me, I don't think I'd ever want to put myself in that situation. Like, I just wouldn't want to move to that area. Like, maybe stop through for a week, maybe of travel, maybe. I don't even know if I'd want to do that. To tell you the truth, I think I would just stay to places, north. And there's a place in Palawan that's bad. Down in the south of Palawan's real sketchy too. I heard. So you got to really watch where you go and how you act to people. Like, you gotta watch how you talk and how you present yourself to the masses of people, especially when you're recording. If dude was probably just living a simple life, probably would have never happened to him. But the fact that you're filming, you're making videos every day, you're on your videos giving out money to this person, giving out money to this person for these like business ventures, which you shouldn't give him any money for any kind of business ventures at all. If you do, it should be like with a lawyer and an actual team behind it. In the Philippines, you should not be just going into it blind by yourself. Because there's a lot of things you need to cover yourself on the back end of that too. But 26 years old and to be in that situation, man. I wonder what's going through his mind right now. Wonder if he's even alive anymore. Getting shot in the leg, depending on where it was, what it hit. Doubt motherfucking jungle warriors are carrying around tourniquets. But I could be wrong. Who knows? I'm sure they obviously don't want him to die, probably. They want to try to get ransom for him or something. I'm not sure. And that's another thing that goes to show you out there, too. That boy converted to being a Muslim, and they still don't give a fuck about you. So, all these people in America that are fake Muslims, you better watch out because they don't care. Especially like certain Muslims, depending if you're Persian or Sunni, that matters a big deal, and they don't give a fuck about either other Muslim. That's why nothing's going on with this war in Israel with Hamas. Iran does not care about those Muslims at all. They're not the same Shia Muslims that they are. So they don't give a shit about them. They'd rather all the Persian fucking Muslims die off anyways and there'd only be Shias left. So, like, people don't even know what they're screaming about on all these wars going on. It's like you have no idea the hatred inside of the own Muslim culture. Like, it's just like every other culture, though. There's hatred in between white culture, black culture, Asian culture, all that stuff. African culture, like, look what's going on in Africa right now. And what was it, Kenya? All that shit going on. There's like two president going on, like, and all that shit, like wild shit going on. People like attacking people in the streets over this election and shit, like going bonkers. You just gotta watch your surroundings wherever you go, and especially To me, that's just dumb to go into a zone like that. I don't care what anyone says. You know, and you get people to make these videos that go all around the world and, you know, go to these crazy, sketchy places, and it's like, oh, it's not so bad. You're one person. You're one person. There's places you can never convince me to go. Sorry, no, thank you. That's just like I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of YouTubers that I follow and people I talk to. A lot of them have been going to Vietnam. That's awesome. Me as an American, I will never go to Vietnam. Hell to the fuck no, I would ever go there. Beautiful place, love it. Have nothing against them people at all. I will never step foot in Vietnam in my whole entire life. That would be one of the craziest and irresponsible things as an American that had family in that war to go to. No, 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 no. Sorry, it ain't getting me that way, man. I'd rather get shot by a homeboy down the street rather than that shit. People gotta stay vigilant in what they're doing, man. I was watching some of that stuff, and to even be filming, there's people approaching you with guns, and you're still filming the situation. Bro, what are you thinking? Get out of there before they get to land. Get the fuck out of there. When I first seen it, I thought it was a prank or something. Because I'm like, there's no way this kid could be that dumb sitting there waiting as people are swimming to shore with guns and shit and with boats. And I guess they were dressed as local police or something. Okay, in that situation, you didn't do nothing, so I'm not talking to local police. I'm getting the fuck out of there. Like, but I think the moral of that is that could happen to anyone, anywhere in the world at any moment. You know, it's unfortunate that did happen. You know, would that ever stop me from going back to the Philippines? Hell no. I will be back in the Philippines in a few months. Like, probably by February, March again, I'll be back in the Philippines. That's not stopping me. I'm not worried. I'm not scared. Now, would I go to that location? Hell to the no, I would never go to that location. And I know a couple YouTubers that just recently went to that location. I hope everything's okay for them and, you know, Godspeed. But you won't catch me in that location. I don't care what it would do for my YouTube channel or anything. See, me, I'm not out there chasing a thrill and chasing views from YouTube. I have a job. I have a career. Like, yes, would I love for YouTube to take off for me? Yeah. But I'm not going to put my life in a dangerous situation just to get views. Like, no. Sorry, no. No, 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 no. You ain't, no, 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 no. If I could do that now, I could go down to my local hood and live stream with all the gangbangers and shit if I wanted to do something sketchy and, you know, dangerous. I can go there where we might catch a fucking drive-by on a live stream or something. You don't see my ass doing something that dumb. No, 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 thank you. I think a lot of people, especially if you're young, you need more life experience. 26 to be over here, be over in the Philippines living. I don't think you should be under 30 until you make that move. Once you're 30, you experienced enough in life as a man, as a woman, to know situations. To be only 26 and doing that kind of stuff, it's just, you obviously didn't know the history of that location, and that's plain ignorance, and that's your woman's ignorance for letting you move into her house in that area. And I don't have nothing problem with. I definitely. There's when I was in northern Cebu, I would definitely lived in that. I felt like I could live in that province of Dan, Dan. I forget the hell name it was, man, but it was an awesome place. I felt like I could live in that province, but it was, you could tell that it was a safe province too. Everyone had nice houses, small town. You know, they had fireworks on the weekend at night. All the kids were dressed in like suits and dresses. I don't know if they had like a prom or some kind of school dance at the local high school that was up the street or something, but they had some kind of event, and all the kids, like all the guys were dressed in suits, all the girls were dressed in dresses and that, and you could tell that it was a uppity place. It wasn't like, oh, let's go to this sketchy place where, you know, I mean, I know they're searching, but depending on where dude was shot in the leg, he's probably already dead, man. I doubt that those people, those terrorists, were carrying around tourniquets and shit to keep the guy alive. Plus, he's gonna need to get that bullet out, stop the bleeding, whatever arteries or tendons were severed. Even if they put the tourniquet on, he's probably gonna have his leg amputated if he is still alive. He's probably gonna need that leg amputated wherever that wound was. You gotta watch for infection. You're in the jungle, you know. I doubt that kid's even alive anymore. He probably bled out on the damn boat across the water. I could be wrong, maybe not. You know, there's Muslims kidnapped a lot of the Jewish and Asians and stuff in Israel and kept them alive in the underground. So there's hope, I guess. I feel bad for a lot of them local people in that area because now, you know, there's going to be a lot of people that don't even want to go there now. So now tourism in that region is going to really suffer. I don't know if it was that big anyways. Like, I know the one YouTuber, he's been living there for 3 years now, and it's his first time he just went down to Mindanao. And I'm like, are you crazy, dog? Like, Davao, maybe I'd go to, maybe, but that'd be a stretch. I'm sorry. It's just I know the history of that location, man. It'd be another thing if I was allowed to have a gun. If you're telling me like, oh, let's go to Davao and I can have a firearm, let's go. But I can't have a firearm, so why the hell would I go into that kind of region without a firearm? That's why I think if you're going there for the first time, especially if you're young, live that city life when you're young. And then there's so many different provinces of all kinds of different islands that you can move to that's a lot safer than that. That boy was probably like, oh, I'm Muslim too. And they were like, pop! You fucking white. You ain't Muslim, boy. But yeah, like me, like I had that in Cebu where my girl told me to, we should probably watch. It's a province. You don't know how it might be. And I ignored her, and we had no issue. But it is something that I look back on seeing this. It's like, oh, she was probably right. But after, scoping out and my senses in my head, I was like, no, this is cool. And even when I'm walking though, I'm paying attention to everything. Like we were walking, and these dudes were coming out this like little cut. Okay, I'm gonna go on the other side of the street. Like I'm that type of person. Like if you coming towards me, and I'm gonna go on the other side, just because that's just my senses. I'm always looking behind me when I walk. I don't have none of them stupid earbuds in, none of that shit. I ain't listening to music when I'm walking. I'm focused on seeing what the fuck is going on around me, front and back, sides. Like, my thing is, I'll be damned if somebody's gonna make me look like a fool. But I can see that is the only way you would have got me too. Like if I was like, you gonna have to have a pistol because if you pulled out a knife, I got long ass arms and long ass legs. You ain't gonna be as the size of most are. You ain't gonna be able to reach me, and I'm gonna be able to disarm you quick. Like I ain't running from no knife. I'll run from a gun. I ain't running from no knife. But I guess we could say hope for the best for this young kid. Hopefully he's all right. Maybe he learned a lesson from this, or maybe he's already RIP at this point. We're just finding out after this over this way in the morning. This happened probably like 2 days ago, technically. So dude probably already dead. If he got shot in the leg, he probably bled out or got some kind of horrible infection and needs his leg amputated as we speak or something. Like probably thinking that he can get them some kind of money, contact the parents and, get a ransom. And that's a good way for them kind of criminals to get money. That happens here too in America. People kidnap people and kids and everything. So it's like, it's not a shocker. And a lot of people are sitting like, oh my God, like it's like, yeah, there's a danger everywhere in the world of this happening to anybody at any time. This isn't like a one-off or a random event. It's like you're making these videos. They know where you live. They know what shops you go to daily, what places you go to eat, where you pay your bills at. They know everything. They've probably been watching you for a little while. And they're like, all right, let's make a move on this kid. And that's like me too. I didn't post none of my videos. I did some shorts, but that was like after the fact. But I didn't post none of my content. Now I'm posting that. Now I'm back home. But that would be like me doing a video and me posting. Oh, I'm in this room 405, New World Makati. Be here for 5 days. And meanwhile, it's day one, and I said that. Now I only have what, not even 10,000 subscribers now. But you don't know who the fuck is watching this video and where the fuck you're from. Like recently, I've gotten so much views from Turkey. Turkey of all countries, and I'm getting a shit ton of views from Turkey. Like last month alone, the short percentage is over like 50% of my short views was from Turkey. So that was over like 10 to 15,000 people viewing my channel from Turkey. You know, like you don't know who your video is going out to the masses to. You might think, oh, no one's watching me, no one's paying attention to me. Yes, there's always somebody watching, there's always somebody paying attention and waiting for that moment. Whether it's to do something good or whether it's to do something bad, it's always around the corner. You gotta have tunnel vision, you gotta know when to flip your optics. I didn't hear anything. Did they kidnap his wife too, or what? Like, I didn't even hear that. Like, they kidnapped his wife too, or they let her go, or like, what happened? Like, there's still a lot of details that ain't even fully out yet. Because I only heard that he was shot and kidnapped, but what happened to his wife? Like, if she's out, why ain't she talking? Like, why ain't she, like, saying something? Makes me kind of want to find that dude's channel and see about it. Cheers, Ken. How's it going, everybody? Just reapplied for our YouTube monetization, so let's see if when that kicks in or what's gonna happen. Hopefully that does. I got a lot more videos to come. I got one already loaded on YouTube, ready to drop. It's of BGC Uptown Mall, like a whole walkthrough there and that. So got a lot of stuff from there to look at. Got my Cebu videos starting to be edited and that. Got the Venice Canal Mall to get through. We got a lot of vlogs to get through. I had a blast. There's a lot of times I walked too in the Philippines. I walked at night too, had no problem, you know? Oh. Mindanao region. Alright. So cool. Yeah, that's the area. It was in the Mindanao region, in one of the secluded, cut off red zones, and yeah, that's just kind of crazy that like his own woman didn't like tell him. And I know sometimes guys don't listen to their women, but there's certain times, especially if you don't know nothing about that location, you need to listen and take account of what that person's telling you. If she told you, and if she didn't tell you, maybe it was a setup all along. Like, but honestly, and if you wanted to go through with that, you should have probably have said, okay, how much do you need for a bus or transportation to get to Mindanao, and we'll meet in Mindanao, or something like that, where it's more, more governed and stuff, modern and security and, stuff like that. So I kind of want to know, like, and they didn't really say anything about the wife. Like, was she kidnapped too, or like, what's going on with that? Like, they just said about him. Like, what about his wife? Like, was she kidnapped too? And if not, then that's even more sketchier. Then that could have been a setup the whole time. When you know, there's gonna be a big investigation on that for sure. I'm sure. For me, you ain't kidnapping me. I'll give you whatever I got, the shirt off my back, everything in my pocket. But for me, you ain't kidnapping me. We gonna fight and you gonna shoot me, you gonna stab me, whatever, we gonna die then. Like, fuck it. You ain't taking me, you ain't torturing me, you ain't doing nothing like that. I'd rather die fighting than something like that happened. Oh yeah, I want it. And that's like how I started the video too. And it's like we have bad places in America that's like that. People get kidnapped, people get killed, people, kids get abducted and stuff like that. Like everywhere in the world has these problems. Most of the time, you gotta know your surroundings. Like me, I know my area is dangerous. Like I know when I go outside in my city, have a gun with me, have a knife with me, something. Anything's better than nothing. Hell, when I went to the Philippines, I was like, okay, well, I can't have a gun, but can I have a knife? Like, and my guess is this little boy was just a good old little white boy from the city of Vermont, which I don't think anyone in Vermont knows anything about anything in the world, not even, let alone the rest of the United States, probably. And you figure all that stuff happened when that kid was probably in, well, he was in like middle school, high school when all the war and that broke out in Mindanao and that in that one region. So he don't even probably know about the dangers of what he was getting into. That's why I kind of want to push the blame onto the wife a lot. Like, you're from that area, you should have told him ahead of time, like, no, it's not safe here. You don't understand. Like, it won't be safe for you. If you want to do this, then we're going to have to move to another location somewhere. That's why I say it'd be important too. No, I didn't get kidnapped. No, hell no. No, I was talking about the situation that just happened. Someone got kidnapped in the Philippines in the Mindanao region. Got shot and kidnapped. Got shot in the leg. And it's like, you know, I don't want to be ignorant or unsensitive to the situation, but from whatever, all the stuff that I've seen, I've never watched any of his videos. I've just seen a little bit of clippings of what's going on. Is it seemed like homie was asking for it. Like, you put yourself in that situation where you know you should not be long term. Going through, driving through, visiting for a week or something, yes. And then get the fuck out of there. You should not be there long term living. It's just, no. There's a lot of, it seems like there's a lot of dumb, young arrogance there. I don't think 20 something years old people should be traveling outside of their countries yet. You think once you're like 30 or after 30, yeah, but when you're young in your 20s, enjoy your own country and your own surroundings and get more familiar with different areas in your own country and surroundings before you travel out abroad. Because it's a different world out there. Like, people don't understand that. People in America think American prisons are the worst in the world. It's like, have you ever seen a documentary on Filipino prisons? You've seen documentaries on Indonesian prisons? You've seen how they treat people in Japan prisons? Like, you gotta look around and people screaming here like, oh, it's horrible. And it's like, really? You know, in Japan, they can't even talk. Like, they'll literally beat you to death if you even speak in prison at any moment of time. Nah. Yeah, go watch. Yeah, Jen, go watch that document. Japanese prison. It came out a couple months ago, I think. It's pretty wild. Even when they work, they can't even speak. Like, if there's a problem with like something that they're making in the factory, they like literally just gotta raise their hand and have a guard come to them. They're not even allowed to like small talk or anything. Oh, thanks, appreciate that. Yeah, northern Cebu is very safe. My girl's from northern Cebu. I mean, northern Philippines. Northern in the in the Luzon area. That's what I would tell people too, especially if you're new coming somewhere. Go to Manila. Go to the areas in Manila and the regions and the districts. Get acquainted with how things are and get comfortable with the different surroundings and then decide, okay, I want to go here, I want to go there, I want to go there, and do your research on it. Do your research before you even come on where's to go to and where's to not go to. Because I know when we was up in northern Cebu, awesome. Place was amazing. We didn't know that at first though, you know, and there was no really, there was, I think maybe two police guards at the 7-Eleven and the Jollibee. That was it. There were no like security guards how there is in Manila and Makati and BGC, all the surrounding cities. They're everywhere. There was none in that region. Something happens to you, you good luck. Like, there was no emergency call network or nothing, I'm sure. And honestly, I liked it in the Manila region. It was very good for food from all around the world, really. Like, you had a little bit of everything from all around the world. A lot of Western places, a lot of Korean places, Japanese places, Filipino places. Like, you had a lot of food, Chinese places. Well, hopefully everything works out for that young kid. They can find him, maybe. I mean, at this point, the clock's ticking. He's been shot. He's not getting the medical treatment you would think that he would need for a leg shot wound. You know, was they able to put a tourniquet on, stop the bleeding? Do they have antibiotics so it doesn't get infected? You know, there's a lot of like questions if the dude's even alive. You know, like at this point. You figure this happened what, a day or two ago technically or something like that. So, you know, cheers, Lala. I don't know where that's at. Is that in Manila area or just stay out of Mendon now? Don't go there. Don't take Jeremy to Mendon now. I hope that Philippines life can get the heck out of there because I know he just went there. It's like, bro, any place that you're going to and you got to go through 3 military checkpoints just to get to the main city, you know you shouldn't be there. Like, that's one thing to have guards at like a hotel and stuff and looking at stuff or a mall, but to go through actual military checkpoints to get into the main city of Davao, bro, you shouldn't even be there, bro. You're playing with your life. That'd be like me going downtown Pittsburgh after midnight. It's like, yeah, I'm just playing with my life at this point. I deserve to be shot. That's what it's like here. It's like, all right, you just playing with yourself. You in an area you know you shouldn't be at a time you shouldn't be at. Whatever happens to you is gonna happen to you. Oh, you're good then. Oh, it was amazing. My vacation was amazing. I loved it. I didn't feel unsafe or anything. I was talking about that because the situation with that foreigner that was just kidnapped. I was saying even in Cebu when we were out and took a walk in the northern province from the resort, and my girl was kind of like, province areas could be dangerous, rob, kidnap, and I kind of just blew it off as like, that ain't gonna happen to me. I'm from the hood. Like, it turned out I was right though, because the area, we started walking. We got out of the resort and walking down the street, and it's like, oh, this place got sidewalks on both sides, street lights. Walking past the houses, it's like, damn, that's like a mansion. That's a mansion. Like, everybody got nice houses, farmland. I'm like, this ain't sketchy place at all. Like, this is the type of place where these people look out for each other and keep this area safe themselves. But as well could have been my misthinking on that. Looking back on that and seeing this kind of situation really brought light to my girl was right to caution me, and I should have probably listened to her more. But once we got to the road and seen how the area was set up, it was like, oh, this is a nice area. This is like a province style, like BGC type thing. Yeah, I definitely want to go to more places too. I want to go up. I'm definitely going to go up north next time too. My thoughts on the kidnap guy. I mean, you went to Mendon now. That shit's on you. I hate to be that ignorant, and for me, that's like, that's a no zone to go to, and you went there, and your woman not telling you shouldn't be in that province. That's another red flag. And they didn't say nothing about his wife. Is she kidnapped or is she okay? Was it a setup? Like what? Like, I don't know. That's like a place. I'm sorry. That's the place I will not visit. They got like what? How many? 700 or 7,000 some islands. I'm sorry, Mindanao's one I will never go to. You couldn't pay me to go there. I don't care about the views for social media or none of that. I got a job. I don't need to risk my life for some stupid content of going somewhere I know I shouldn't be at. Yeah, and Michael from that Philippines Life is in Davao now, and he's talking about going through Mindanao and that. It's like, bro, you tripping, dog? Yeah, and apparently he converted to Muslim too, and that's another thing is like they don't care if you convert to that. To them, you're a fake Muslim. Like people don't realize like the inner hatred in the Muslim society as a whole, like as a whole dark, effed up situation in itself. Is how they view each other as Muslims. Yeah, I'm sorry. You couldn't pay me to go to Mindanao. I'm sorry. Nothing against the people there. Nothing against none of that stuff there. I would just never go there. Nope. Couldn't pay me. You can offer me $100,000 US, and I'd be like, nope, no, thank you. Cool. I'll stay over here in Cebu or Bohol or Boracay or Northern Luzon or one of these other gazillion islands over that. Sorry. I don't need the views, don't need the attention. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that's going to probably come out about that. Is I think what happened was he probably pissed off one of the locals. Yeah, I think he was living in his wife's house because he don't have no money. He's only a 26-year-old kid with no like, you didn't save up that much money. You don't have a retirement yet. Unless mommy and daddy's paying it, and maybe people found out that's like, oh, there's a young kid up here. He looks wet behind the ears. Parents probably got money, that's why he's living here. But not the women, I don't think, though. The women can't. Women can only marry one, but the men can marry whatever they want, but the woman can only marry one guy. Yeah, and when they die, they get like what 13-year-old virgins in heaven or something like that. In the Muslim culture, they believe it's like a teenager or something they get to marry when they die. It's something crazy like that. I could be wrong. Don't want to disrespect any Muslims out there, but I think pretty much everyone knows how I view them on this channel. I think Israel should keep pushing and bombing everything over in that region. Yeah, I guess young boy didn't really care, and Yeah, I didn't know anything about his YouTube channel or nothing. I haven't seen it yet. I guess I'm gonna try to find it now and see if it pops up and see what's all about. But the stuff that I did see from people that did videos so far is he was talking about large casses of money, you know? Like he paid somebody for a Wi-Fi like over $2,000. For some people in that region, that's like a whole year's salary. So, you know, you're doing a video and you're showing. That's why I didn't show anything about what I paid for anything. Like, people don't need to know that shit. You want to know, I'll tell you what I paid for it. I'm not going to flash on the screen, oh, at the Kendaya Resort, I paid $240 a night. I'll tell you that, but I'm not going to post it on the screen when I post a video like, oh, this resort for Pool Villa was $240 a night. No, you don't need to know that shit. You don't need to know I got money or what I'm doing. Like, it's like, find out for yourself. Google it. Some of them people make it easy. You know, they're posting like, oh, I paid this much for my house. And I bought this car for 3 million pesos and all this stuff. And it's just like, bro, you realize what you just did? You put a target on your back, dog. They just know you just bought this damn Toyota pickup truck for 4 million pesos. Hopefully his parents back home got money or something. I don't know what's going to happen. But he was shot in the leg. So who knows? This happened like, what, a day or two ago technically? Or it was reported a day or two ago. So he's probably dead already. Like, if he was shot in the leg, I don't see terrorists carrying around tourniquets and antibiotics to stop infections, and you know, you're gonna need surgery. Who knows if it hit an artery or ligaments and stuff that needs to be repaired right away. You know, if it hit the artery, you're dead regardless. Like if it hit that artery in your leg, you're gonna bleed out within like two minutes. You're gonna be completely dead and bled out like 5 pints of blood. Like, oh yeah, definitely always need to. That's what I said. I wouldn't go anywhere that's sketchy. I'm sorry. I know my own city at night sketchy. That's why I don't go out. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said. I'd probably visit Davao or something like that, maybe. But after this, I don't think Mindanao has anything for me to, as an American, to offer other than just sketchiness. And I can honestly say, in my whole month trip, I never felt uneasy, never felt scared, never felt worried about any location we went to, whether it was some of the places. Cebu City was a little sketchy to me. There was a lot of police activity all night long up and down the main drag of Central Cebu. We went out at like 7 or 8 at night, I think, and got Jollibee or McDonald's. And then we did like a lap around the block. And we both kind of felt a little sketched out, and we said like, all right, let's go back to the hotel. And when I was at the hotel, I put a glass on the door handle, one of the glass cups they give you. I put that on the door handle. So if anyone wiggled that door handle or moved it in the middle of the night, that would have fell and broke and woke us up. So it's like little things like that young boy probably, you know, you got to know life and you got to experience things. Like, a lot of people wouldn't even think of doing that. And that was the only hotel place I did that in the Philippines. No other hotel I felt uneasy. But Central Cebu, we both felt a little uneasy that night. So I was like, all right, I'm going to put this luggage here, some coins, and I'm going to put this glass cup on a door handle, so if anyone jiggles this door handle, it's gonna fall and break. And I slept very light that night. Oh yeah, that's why I was saying at the beginning of this too. There's places in America if Lala and you're coming to America for the first time, I'm not gonna tell you to go to Los Angeles. I'm not gonna tell you to go to South Side Chicago. Oh, you want to visit Pittsburgh? Oh yeah, you should go to the North Side. No, hell no, I ain't gonna tell you to go there. I'm gonna tell you to go some like, I'm gonna be like, oh no, you need to stay in like Squirrel Hill or somewhere like that. Like, don't go over this side. Don't like this side's this gang. Like this is that area. Like you gotta know before you go somewhere what's up with the region. And you always gotta be respectful where you go too. It's how you carry yourself. Right. And some areas are like that too. Some areas aren't like that. At my place here in the US, I would never be out past 11 unless I was at work already or something. I'm not going to go out in these streets. Oh yeah, 7-Elevens or yeah, that's what was it, up in the Kendaya Resort? There was a 7-Eleven down the street open 24/7, Jollibee open 24/7. And even like some of the street stands were open late. I was like, oh, this area is not sketchy. Like, we ain't got to worry about this area. I was like, they got an electronics store open at 8 o'clock at night still and it's dark. Like, then they're open till like 11. So, I was like, electronics store in America would never be open past 9 o'clock at night. I think even Best Buy closes at what time Best Buy closes? I don't have my Google thing. I bet you Best Buy closes at 9 or 10 p.m. in my area. Probably 9. But I'm gonna get out of here. That was just my little rant about the situation. Honestly, I think dude was young, arrogant, and didn't know what he was getting himself into. And I have to blame the female in that situation because you grew up in that region. You know how that region is. You should have told him, no, you can't come to my province. You can't come to my house. We have to meet and like devour, send me money for the bus or something, or some kind of transportation money, and I'll meet you in the city or something like that. We can't come to my province. It's a no-go. So there's a lot of oh, it's not even that. Chicago's crazy. Chicago's insane. It's mostly in the African American community. They're shooting each other left and right. They're killing each other as quick as they can in Chicago, day and night. Young black men. Yeah, you have that. There's a lot of that going on in New York too. I think they're starting to ship them here, but Pennsylvania, we have really good. We're still under like Commonwealth, so we have laws of self-defense here. So if that starts becoming a problem here, you're gonna see a lot of immigrants being shot and killed in Pennsylvania. That you're gonna see that happening big time. You know what is it? Poland. Poland shoots any immigrant coming to their country. They kill them. Poland. They kill every immigrant. They just released a document about that. Poland shoots and kills every illegal immigrant that tries to even come in their country. And it's like, I don't know, looking out for the best for their people. You know, there's a good way to come into the country and there's a bad way. That'd be like me trying to sneak on a boat to go to the Philippines instead of going through like actual customs and passports and visas. It's like, you know, people come here and they think they can just come into the country, and it's just like that's not how it works. If I want to relocate where I live from an American citizen, I have to go through proper protocols in that country's government. Like, there's no exception for me. Why should there be an exception for you? Like, if I want to go live in the Philippines, I have to go through visas and long-term stay visas and things like that, and look into different things. I can't just be like, oh, I'm here and whatever. Like, fuck you, I deserve to be here, whatever. Have like an attitude of like, oh, I don't need to follow your rules. I'm here. What now? I'm gonna start robbing people. All right, y'all. We're gonna head up out of here. We're gonna get back on to. We'll holler at you on the next one. We'll probably get on some gaming later. We're gonna do some stuff here in a minute. Have a good one. We got the video uploading. We got video already going. Appreciate everyone that smacked the like button and watched my new vlog. It's like almost, I think, like 500 views. So appreciate that. It's like one of my most viewed videos, and I got a lot more vlogs to come. And yeah, spinning. Great day. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.